But they had recreated that to modify and then the integration program has the rate division. We at fifth grade then are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Kent County, Maryland Department of Planning, Housing, and Zoning's administrative hearing. Whatever that was. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Bill Mackey. I'm the Director of Planning, Housing, and Zoning. With me today is Rob Tracy, our Associate Planner, who's presenting a staff report. I believe Carla Gerber is going to join us for another staff report later. We have Beth Grebe, who is Acting Secretary, and Tyler from GIS is helping us out. So, are we ready to?
We're ready.
We're ready. Okay.
I think I can start with or you want to start? Yeah.
Yeah. So today is Tuesday,
yes.
Friday, April 11th, 2025. We're reviewing 4 administrative hearings. There are 3 administrative special exceptions and 1 administrative variance. I just like to put that on record for people who are searching through these. They can find it easily on YouTube. The clerk reads into the record the public notice of the hearing and identifies any correspondence received. And then I'll walk through how the hearing works. If you are going to testify this morning, if you would please raise your right hand and answer this question. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is true to the best of your belief and knowledge? Thank you very much. So how this proceeds is the acting secretary will read into the record the advertisement for each item. The staff will give a staff report first. Applicants are invited to discuss their application. If there is anyone present in the room or online who is speaking in support, then they would do so. If there were anyone in opposition, they would speak. And then applicants have the opportunity to give closing remarks in response to comments if they choose to. After everyone has spoken, then anyone in any party, staff, applicant, support or opposition has the opportunity to ask questions in cross-examination. So to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe any of these applications are opposed. We certainly haven't received any email on that. I think one is supported. And with that, we will begin. So Beth, if you could read the sort of the group advertising for everything at once into the record.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. The notice of public hearing was posted in the Kent County News on April 3rd, 2025, and the notice was posted online at kentcounty.com. A copy of the public notice is in the April 11th, 2025 administrative hearing packet. Letters were sent to adjacent property owners on March 27th, 2025, and the properties were posted on March 28th, 2025.
Okay, thank you very much. All righty, the first item that we have are Mr. and Mrs. Genovese for administrative special exception. And Rob, would you care to give us a staff report?
Sure.
And before you start, have you all had a chance to read the staff report? No, okay. Well, then maybe a little more detail. Usually we just do a high-level summary, so maybe a little more detailed one for this so you all can hear it, and we can provide you with a copy of that if you need that. I think you were just provided a copy of that. Thank you very much. All righty.
Okay.
Rob?
So Mr. and Mrs. Genovese are requesting an administrative special exception to construct a 676 square foot pole building with a 572 square foot second floor apartment that will also exceed the median height limit of 17 feet on a property less than 5 acres. Due to the size of the proposed structure and floor area and the size of the parcel being less than 5 acres, it necessitates a administrative special exception in accordance with the Kent County Land Use Ordinance. The proposed use is for the the proposed use is for the storage of boats and RVs and other miscellaneous equipment. The 2-acre property is located at 2604 Bessex Corner Road in Still Pond in the 2nd Election District and is zoned agricultural zoning district. The special exception standards outline the specific things that the director needs to find in order to grant an administrative special exception, and specifically those provisions can be found in Article 7, Section 2 of the Kent County Land Use Ordinance. Staff's comments, as well as from TAC, are as follows. So the proposed accessory building will be located in the rear yard, and I've included a site plan for you there. The proposed accessory building will meet all of the required setback standards. There are no neighbors to the west of the property. The existing 2-acre parcel is currently unimproved, and according to aerial imagery is open field. The applicant has submitted a building permit for a new single-family dwelling that we have in our office. The site is approximately 1/4 mile from New Christian Chapel, Love Church, and is over 3.5 miles from Kent County High School in Warden. No adverse impacts to the environment, property values, or character of the neighborhood are anticipated. There are no known impacts on community facilities and services. The Kent County Comprehensive Plan is neutral on this matter. The proposal is consistent with the intent of the ordinance. Based on the comments and the review, I would recommend approval with the following condition, and that condition be that the special exception hereby granted, or if it was granted, were to lapse after 2 years if no substantial construction in accordance with the plans here in presented were to occur.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Would you like to say a few words? Come on up. Make sure you press the little button on the mic so it goes from red to green.
It sounded very favorable, so I'll limit my comments.
Bill, I did want to mention that we did receive one email correspondence
Okay.
in regards to this project, and they were in favor of the proposal. I apologize, I had
That's
meant to
fine.
mention that before.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear.
That is good to hear, yes.
Yes, we want to be good neighbors. Yeah, the only thing that I wanted to mention, it's barely over the square footage. It's 1,248 square feet and 5'6" over the height requirement. So that's about it.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate you coming down. You know, the purpose of these hearings is when something's going to happen that might be, not expected in the zoning code, it gives your neighbors an opportunity to learn about it and come comment if they wish to, and there has been a supportive comment, so that's great. It just, puts everyone on notice. I did pull your house plans to take a look, and what you're proposing really coordinates very well with the architecture of the house. It looks like it's going to be a good set of improvements for sure, so I appreciate you taking the time to come down, and again, it gives the community an opportunity to see what's happening, so.
We appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. Well, and I would like to officially accept into the record the staff report, the TACA comments, applicants' comments as well. And in general, just to note that special exceptions in Maryland, the intent is that there's a review to see if there would be any additional impacts beyond what would be a regular anticipated impact in the specific location where such an item is proposed. And I would say that I think that certainly meets the Maryland standard. It obviously meets the standard for our code. So I would agree with staff, and I would recommend for approval with the 2 years length. We actually, at one point, it used to be 1 year. We've extended it to 2 years because sometimes it's hard to get things done. It's pretty tight in the construction world. So if 2 years is acceptable for you all, we'll go ahead and include that. So, and a decision and order is usually issued within 1 to 2 weeks. There is an appeal period for 30 days in Maryland. That starts today when the decision is made, and I'm hereby making that decision to say yes. So we wouldn't issue a building permit for that structure until the 30 days lapses. But you can be working on the building permit, we can review it, it can be ready to go. So, and I don't know what the status of the building permit is, but all that can happen. We just can't issue it until the 30 days lapse to give people an opportunity if they wish to appeal. So, all righty. Well, thank you very much for coming down. All righty. And our next item is Robert and Shelley Sheeker. And that's Carla, right?
Yeah, let me go get the file. I think she's still.
Sure, yeah, I know, she was held up in another meeting, so, yep.
Okay, yeah, let me just go get the file.
Okay, well, before you go, Rob, is there another item that you're reporting on?
Yes, I
Yes.
wasn't sure if you wanted to keep
Yeah,
that schedule
well,
or.
yeah, we can certainly take that item since we have to wait on Carla, so, yeah.
So the second one that I'm doing is Cynthia George.
Lees, okay, thank you. Mr. Lees?
Morning, sir.
Morning. Good to have you. So have you all had a chance to read the staff report?
We have, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So for the sake of anyone who might be viewing this in the future, staff reports are available from the department for anyone. It's a public record. But since the applicant is here and has reviewed that and we're familiar with it, if you could give us a sort of an overview of the staff report, Rob, I appreciate that.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Lees are requesting an administrative special exception to construct a 1,600 square foot pool building that will also exceed the median height of 17 feet on a property less than 5 acres. Due to the size of the structure and the size of the parcel, necessitates a administrative special exception in accordance with our Kent County Land Use Ordinance. The proposed structure is for the storage of boats, RVs, and other miscellaneous equipment. The 4.53 acre property is located at 12169 Homestead View Road in Warden in the 3rd Election District and is zoned community residential. As you had noted, special exceptions are allowed and presumed to be compatible with other permitted uses in the zoning district. However, a review process is required to evaluate whether that proposed use at that particular location would have any adverse effects beyond and above those inherently associated with such use. As I had mentioned, Article 7, Section 2 outlines the criteria that the director would need to find in order to make to approve the decision. Staff comments are as follows. The proposed accessory building will be located in the side yard, and according to the applicant's site plan, which is included here, the proposed accessory building will meet all of the required setback standards. According to an aerial imagery, the eastern property line is lined with trees. So I believe that's this line. It's here.
Yep.
The existing 4.53 acre parcel is currently improved by, I believe, a 6,341 square foot single-family dwelling. The site is approximately 1.65 miles from Christchurch IU and is over 2 miles from Kent County High School in Wharton. There are no known impacts on community facilities. The comprehensive plan is neutral on this matter, and the proposal is consistent with the intent of the ordinance. Staff would recommend approval with the 2-year condition.
Thank you very much. Sure, sounds good. Mr. and Mrs. Lees, do you have anything you'd like to state about your application?
No, I'm very briefly, my name is George Lees. My wife is Cynthia is with me. I did bring some pictures to give you an idea. I know the report mentioned trees. When we looked at locating this, we wanted to locate it in such a way that it is kind of tucked a little bit so that our neighbors don't have to look at this pole building.
Right.
We try to take into consideration the neighborhood, make sure the coloring of what we're designing match the house, similar design, similar to what's in the neighborhood. And I brought
I was
three
going to
sets.
ask you, if you would, Rob, can you pull up the chairs? If you would come sit up here, that would be great, then we can talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the planning commission does this, so I don't see why I can't.
Would you like me to bring the recorder as well, sir?
Yes, please. Yep. And you're both welcome to come up, please. So, and sir, are you here on this application or one of the others?
Yeah, one of the other.
One of the, okay. I just want to make sure if there's a member of the public here that they could see what we're looking at, right? Okay, thank you.
So these are photos I just took, I think at the end of last week, and it gives you an idea. So if you look at the plan as you come in, where the driveway splits off in the
Yep.
pole barn, this is the view. So where you see the boats
Yep.
is the 30-foot, and you can see there's trees separating our property from Richard's property. And then there's also trees that run up along between our property and our neighbor Rita's property.
Yep.
And the building will be tucked in kind of so that there's trees on 2 of the 4 sides. So our neighbors immediately adjacent, it's shielding the barn they're not going to be looking at it. They're going to be looking at the trees that are already existing. And obviously, we do plan to add some additional landscaping once the construction is done to kind of
I
help
did
it
want to.
blend in with the community.
I did want to talk about that. I actually went out to the site to look around, only because the plans that your contractor provided were pretty minimal. So I wanted to sort of just get the setting, and I agree. Are any of the trees that are sort of in that corner, are any of them evergreen, or are they all deciduous?
They're all, well, none of them are currently evergreen.
Okay.
Quite frankly, one of the things that I'm looking at hopefully doing is mixing in some hollies in with those, because they're
It's a good evergreen.
both native. They provide cover, they provide a good windbreak, and I grew up with hollies as a kid, and so I love holly trees, and when they get, your male and your females, and they get the berries in the winter, the birds love them, so.
Nice, yeah.
We had actually, about 2 weeks ago, spoken with the landscaper who just did the planting across the front of the house. You'll notice that's been now done. I spoke with him about looking for some hollies to start mixing into that tree line as well.
Wonderful.
So we want to make it kind of a refuge. We want to make sure that it is staying with the nature of where we moved. We moved there for a reason.
Yeah, it's a lovely neighborhood.
It is beautiful. We've been very lucky. I'd encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to walk around to the front of the garage and look at the view out the back, it's phenomenal. So we love everything there, and we don't want to do anything that's going to disrupt that.
Okay, good. That sounds wonderful. And I did go out because I wanted to look at like what the neighbors had. So I took some photographs, which I'm sure you're well aware of. These are all your neighbors. And I
Well,
just,
that would be Wayne, and that looks like Mike and Sarah, and I
the
don't
one, that
recognize this one.
last one is not from your neighborhood.
Okay.
That's just- I just wanted to give a sample of how color changes everything.
Exactly. So that's why we went with, I think, I actually provided color pictures originally.
I was going to say, I didn't see anything in the application package, so.
Okay, so I did have those.
Aha.
I'm happy to
Okay,
show.
we do have them on in the file, so that's good.
So the roof would be green. The roof on our main house is a combination of brown and green. It's a multicolored. And then the siding is actually, I believe, what they call Savannah wicker. We got it from Chestertown. And so the pole barn steel is like a sand or a taupe that would match the coloring of the house,
Okay.
is what we're proposing. So we're definitely trying to make it.
Well, this
that it-
is a lot more information, so that's helpful, yeah.
Good.
So, and I had noticed in driving around, there is a wide variety of sort of solutions, and I do think the ones that have the sort of sympathetic colors look a lot better, and you do have the cupola, that does help, kind of, gives it a little more human scale, so that all inspires confidence in me, so thank you very much. So, thank you, Rob, it's good with this color, so I'm glad to hear that you wanted to do some evergreen landscaping, because that was my one thought was, I don't know in the middle of the winter how that's going to fare for your neighbor's view.
Well, I will be, they lose their leaves and they're there. Now, the beautiful thing is, and if you can see it, so I'm trying to show, there's the three photos. So Richard's, he's immediately behind us. You can actually see, maybe immediately behind that boat is, he's got a outbuilding himself back there that blocks the view
Okay.
from his back porch to where our pole barn's gonna go as well.
Okay, I did see his building, I wasn't sure where it lined up with your.
It more or less lines up almost right with it.
Okay.
And he's got a chicken coop there. He's got 3 beautiful hens that come out every morning, and they're out in the yard feeding and
Great.
free ranging. So that blocks a little bit, and then on what I'll call this side, which is Rita's side, she doesn't have any accessory structures back there. She has I think from the prior owner, their swing set is still out there, but she has been adding a lot of trees to change it more from a yard to kind of a refuge. I know she's got a bunch of bayberry, it looks like, that she's planted,
Okay.
and other, maybe some Russian olive, some other native plants that she's planted throughout her yard.
Okay.
So she's also been adding to her yard as well.
All righty, well, all that sounds good. feel good about it. I'm not going to put any conditions on it for landscaping. Sounds like you've got that covered, so. I did just want to, the information I had was, it was a real simple drawing. I wasn't sure exactly what you were shooting for, so. Glad to see the color, glad to see the landscaping, so all sounds good.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Thank you. So with that, I will decide that the decision would be in favor with the condition, which is to give 2 years of time if you need it, as opposed to the normal 1. Is 2 years sufficient, you think?
It should be sufficient, yes.
Okay.
We've got the builder lined up. We haven't signed the contract because I didn't want to put a deposit down and then have to do revised plans or anything else,
Right.
so.
Right, and then the same idea, we won't be able to issue a permit until 30 days from this date, but the permit can be worked on and approved and ready to go, so, all right?
Understood, thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your house, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for the pictures. And Rob, we'll have, if you don't mind, just adding this to the back of the file, since we discussed it, and if anybody wants to review what we discussed, it's available. Thank you, all righty. And I think that's your last item, right? Yeah. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Beth. All righty. And now we have Carla Gerber, our Deputy Director, to present the next 2 staff items. Staff reports, sorry. So I believe we can get back to, we'll go back to the second item on our agenda, Mr. and Mrs. Sheeker. Thank you, Carla. And are the Sheekers online? I see the name, yes. Mr. Sheeker, have you read?
Yes.
Yes, good morning, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you for attending. I appreciate you being here, and I wanted to ask you, have you read the staff report?
I have not. Our engineer, Steve Layden, is in Portugal, and I did not receive it from him. So I don't have the benefit of that in front of me at the moment.
Okay, well, in that case, Carl, if you can give a little more detailed version of the report, then you can
Certainly.
hear it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Sheeker are requesting an administrative special exception for the installation of a swimming pool within the front yard of a waterfront property. It will be a 2,000 square foot in-ground pool, patio, and steps that will be located between the house and the water, but it will not be anywhere close to the buffer.
Okay.
And the 49-acre property is located at 24,000 Max Lane in Wharton, in a zoned resource conservation district. The standards for the special exception are the same as the previous application, where we're looking for consistency with the land use ordinance, traffic patterns, neighboring properties, consistency with critical area program. And staff and TAC comments is that the pool is located in the front yard but not in the buffer, that the closest neighboring residence is more than 1,000 feet away, and that there is established forest that separates the Sheeker's residence from the adjacent parcels. The Health Department has no objections. There are no known impacts on cultural or historic landmarks. There are no known impacts on community facilities and services. This proposed pool was included in the development plans for their new dwelling, and so has been taken into consideration with relation to their stormwater management, their buffer enhancement, and no additional plantings are required in the buffer, and everything is within the lot coverage limits. And the proposal is consistent with the intent of the land use ordinance. So staff would recommend granting of the special exception.
Thank you. Does this also have the 2-year?
I think that would be a question for the applicant.
Okay.
I believe they are ready to move forward, but
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Sheeker, would you like to say something about your application?
I believe Carla did a very nice job summarizing that. Hi, Beth. Hi. Hi to everyone. Thank you. As Carla mentioned, this was in the original plan. We're just getting around to it now, and we're hoping to have a wedding in June of 2026, so it would need to be done by then. So I believe that 2 years would just be extra, and 1 year should be adequate for this.
Okay, we can do that. Thank you very much.
And they have submitted their building permit, so that is currently under review. So
Okay.
They are ready to go.
They're ready to go. Wonderful. All right, well,
Thank you.
best wishes to whomever is getting married.
Thank you. It's our oldest son.
Aha, okay, wonderful. So, well, thank you for attending. I don't see anyone in the audience or online that has any comments. So with that, I do want to accept into the record the staff report, TAC comments, and also your comments, sir. And with that, I would grant approval with the condition that it would lapse 1 year from now if there were no substantial construction in accordance with the plans. So, and a decision is usually issued in 1 or 2 weeks, written decision.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. All righty, that takes us to the last item on our agenda as reordered for Morgan Brown. It's an administrative variance and a side setback. And I assume you're here for that, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please come up.
Mrs. Brown is also on the.
Thank you. Hello, Mrs. Brown.
Good morning.
Yeah, we just moved it up so that we could compare pictures. It was easier to see. And if you press the little button on the mic, then we'll be able to hear you when you speak. Perfect. Okay. And have both of you had an opportunity to review the staff report?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, wonderful. So in that case, if you can give sort of highlights.
Yep.
Yeah, and for the public, it's always available in our offices if anyone wants to review the file. So thank you.
So this is a request for a 12.5-foot side yard setback variance because in the village district, recreational uses such as swimming pools do require a 25-foot setback from all property lines. The comments from staff are that the practical difficulty is due to the topography of the parcel as the rear yard slopes away from the dwelling. The pool is also that minimum required distance from the well, and so shifting the pool away from the property line would interfere with that well setback. The side that the pool is going to be located on is also part of a community open space access, and so is not immediately adjacent to another residential property.
Yep.
It wouldn't change the character of the neighborhood, as many of the other houses have pools, and there are no known impacts, and so staff recommends approval of the variance with the condition that it would lapse after 1 year if no substantial construction has occurred.
Okay, thank you very much. Would either one of you like to speak to the application?
I'm Gary from Sparkle Pools.
Gary.
I believe Mrs. Brown had already put in the permit application as well. We're just waiting to see if that's approved, and once that's issued, we just wait for the liner to come in, and construction would probably be within a couple weeks of the permit being issued. So, and we built our pools in 2 days.
Okay.
And then the concrete work would be done about a month later, so it would definitely be within that 1 year.
Okay, wonderful.
Bill, I did have one question.
Sure.
I haven't looked at the permit. Is this going to use a cover or a fence?
Fencing.
Fencing,
Oh.
okay.
Oh, unless Morgan wants to comment on that.
Yeah, we're going to have a cover for the pool, and there will also be a fence directly around the pool.
Okay,
So both?
Both. Yeah, the cover will be a winter cover.
Okay.
Not an automatic cover.
right, that's what I was asking, so.
Oh, sorry,
Okay, yeah, so
yes.
for kind of the safety factor, it is
Yes.
going to be a fence? Okay, great. I was hoping so, given the proximity to the community access
Right.
point, so, okay.
Definitely.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ms. Brown. So special exceptions variances are different from special exceptions. So the classic variance is based on the fact that most zoning codes, including ours, are designed for a particular size lot. That's an orthogonal lot, and then setbacks are applied to that typical sort of, imaginary lot that would be representative of the zoning district. In this case, this is sort of a classic variance application. The lot is a pie-shaped lot, therefore, setbacks aren't going to make as much sense for such a lot. And in this case, you do have the room and the topography that also reinforces the idea that there are places on the property based on the nature of the land as well as the nature of the shape of the parcel that would preclude location in the place where the setbacks would place the pool. I'd also like to note that there is an ample open space access area that does place the pool quite far away from the neighboring property. So I think there's, ample safeguards on that. So again, I feel like the staff report has proven the requirements for a variance, and I would formally adopt the staff report and TAC comments into the record, as well as your all's testimony, and therefore render a decision of approval of the variance. just like with all the other special exceptions, there is a 30-day appeal period that allows any member of the public to file an appeal if they wish so. During that time, we can still proceed with permits and approvals, et cetera, so that we, if everything's in order, would be able to issue a permit after the 30 days lapses from the date of this meeting. So, do you all have any questions? Nope, okay. Appreciate you coming down. Again, a big part of this is so that neighbors are aware that things might be a little different than what they would expect if they're familiar with the zoning code, and this gives them an opportunity to be heard and have a dialogue with you all. So appreciate you doing that. And a variance is a more serious matter, but I feel like there's ample proof that this meets all the requirements. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. I have had approval from my neighbors. I have it in writing and in person, so they're on my team.
All right, that's good to hear. I'm glad. Yeah. Good luck with your pool, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
With that finishes the items on our agenda, so I will close the meeting.
Excuse me, Bill. It
Yes,
looks
ma'am.
like there's somebody else that just came on.
Oh, yeah, Steve Layden. I had a
Oh,
little trouble
that's
getting
it,
connected,
yes.
but I'm here now.
Okay,
I see.
We approved the special
Hi.
And,
your mic. Yeah.
Steve, we approved the special exceptions for the Sheiker's, and they were able to answer our questions, and we appreciate that both of you were able to join us. Enjoy your vacation.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. I'm sorry to come in at this late hour, but I'm glad you were able to get done what you needed to.
Well, thank you for attending anyway. It's good to have you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. And thank you, Beth.